Welcome. Today we are discussing Module 4.2, Storing and Querying Vectors in ChromaDB, Practical. Here's a quick look at where we are in our curriculum. Hello everyone. I'm thrilled to welcome you to this hands-on lab where we will master vector storage in ChromaDB. In production AI applications, you cannot simply rely on in-memory arrays. You need a robust, scalable storage engine. ChromaDB solves this beautifully. As you can see in this architecture diagram, our system takes unstructured documents, runs them through an embedding model, and persists them inside an indexing engine using HNSW. Let's look at how query vectorization maps to this collection to retrieve highly relevant context. Remember to check the link in the description to download the architecture diagram and script as we begin building our codebase. Now let's write the actual implementation. To ensure our vector embeddings persist after our application shuts down, we initialize a persistent client pointing to a local directory path. We then create or retrieve a collection and configure its metadata to explicitly use cosine similarity distance. I recommend checking the link in the description to download the architecture diagram and script to run this directly on your local environment. As you can see on the terminal screen, executing our script starts Chroma's background logging and telemetry safely. ChromaDB creates a clean directory named chroma_data_store, which handles all vector files and index mappings. This means that next time your script starts, it won't have to rebuild any indexes, saving you massive cold start times. Moving on to batch ingestion. We must feed our knowledge base clean, context-rich chunks. We use the collection.add method, passing unique IDs, structured metadata, and the raw text documents. Under the hood, Chroma's default embedding function automatically vectorizes these text strings into 384-dimensional dense vectors. Make sure to download the full script from the link in the description to test this on your machine. Let's review the terminal output. Notice how ChromaDB automatically triggers the download of the sentence transformer model if it's not present locally, embeds each text, and writes them directly into memory and database storage. No errors, everything is indexed and fully searchable. Now let's see how fast we can retrieve this information. We pass our natural language question into collection.query. But we don't stop there. We apply a powerful where filter to enforce that the retrieved document must belong to the backend tier. This makes our retrieval process extremely precise and cost-effective for large production systems. Check out the link in the description to get access to this codebase and integrate it into your project. Let's inspect the terminal query output. ChromaDB found our Redis documentation almost instantly. Notice the distance value of 0.38. This represents high semantic proximity in cosine space. Thanks to metadata filtering, we skipped the database and infrastructure chunks entirely, getting only backend-focused context for our LLM application. Now that you can store and query vectors, it is vital to know that your search performance is only as good as your data layout. Choosing correct indices, understanding memory constraints, and managing chunk sizes is essential for scaling vector apps in production. Speaking of which, in our next upcoming lecture, we will dive deep into Module 5.1, Data Chunking Strategies, Theory, where I will teach you how to optimally divide complex documents before vectorizing. Don't forget to like, subscribe, download the complete code and architecture diagrams from the link in the description, and I'll see you in the next session.